potential employer. So, please try to make a good impression.
I always do. You're the real dummy.
In one of the series' glorious moments, Chester's magic box routine goes awry when he actually saws Emma Roberts' Maggie Esmeralda in half. Ta-da! Number 19, Papa Legba. On a show that features grisly demises so prominently, it makes sense that a physical embodiment of death would show up at some point.
Not to mention the Falcon. I'm the gatekeeper of the Putin manipulator underwater.
Founded in real-world Haitian voodoo, Papa Legba is a gatekeeper to the spirit world. Due to many of the characters in Coven practicing witchcraft, Papa Legba is just a summoning ritual away. But buyers beware when dealing with Legba. While he does trade honestly, his asking prices for the heart's desires are often steep, and usually the buyer's soul.
I shall do one thing. Your soul.
It could be argued that Papa Legba is less of a villain and more of a dark reflection of the people he deals with, but his antagonistic characterization brought to life by the late great Lance Reddick is too iconic not to recognize. Number 18, The Butcher. Oh, so that's what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. The Butcher was once a woman named Thomasin White, who was banished from the Roanoke colony and left to die. However, she was saved by a witch named Skaha and developed an allegiance to the supernatural entity. She soon butchered the colony, going so far as to kill her own son when he began to rebel against her. Now, the Butcher is a disgusting, rotting supernatural entity who kills anyone entering her sacred land. She's nothing but a horrifying monster who will stop at nothing to keep her land protected. In short, she is the stuff of nightmares.
Our message was clear. We were next.
Number 17, Edward Mordrake. The Halloween episodes are a staple of American Horror Story, and the two-parter from Freak Show does not disappoint.
A good old Hallows Eve too, you met.
Edward Mordrake.
It just says.
Superstition of a 19th century supernatural freak dissuades many from performing on All Hallows Eve, else they invoke his presence. However, Elsa Mars's stubbornness and delusions of stardom summon Mr. Mordrake all the same.
You are a tattered waste of oxygen who boasts herself with contempt for others. I am not here to take you on the greatest walk. I am here to take someone with me to the other side. Perhaps you.
A man with a face in the back of his head and a mind of his own. Mordrake killed his troop when he was still alive, and now returns to find the perfect player to join him in the afterlife.
Don't stop now. We came for the show.
After an extended vetting process, he ultimately takes series figurehead Twisting Clown, before returning in the finale to usher Elsa herself into the afterlife. Number 16, Mr. Whiteley.
Are you ready for me, Doctor?
Yes. Mr. Whitby.
It's Whiteley. And I have a rash. A rash that won't go away.
Taking place at the advent of the AIDS epidemic, NYC is perhaps the series' most personal and emotional season, and that extends to the villain as well.
I can tell from your face that you're angry, scared, in pain. The others were too. There's a lot of pain in us. I will make that legible.
A Vietnam veteran and a nurse in the daylight hours, Mr. Whiteley is one of the most unassuming villains on the show. His demure disposition obscures his violent tendencies and identity as New York's Mai Tai killer. Disillusioned by society's attitude toward the gay community and by the lack of solidarity within it, Whiteley seeks to spotlight their plight and hardships. By murdering gay men and assembling various body parts into what he calls the Sentinel, Whiteley's cause is as warped as it is thematically affecting, proving the writers know how to craft a well-rounded villain.
No one cares about us, but no one cares what happens to us, especially the police. I think I proved my point, don't you?
Number 15, Stanley. Clearly, Freak Show has no shortage when it comes to great villains. And we aren't even done yet. One of the original mainstays of the show, Dennis O'Hare has crafted many memorable characters, but perhaps none so despicable as Stanley.
Knock knock.
to see me?
Yeah. Tell me more about this television. A con artist through and through, Stanley values nothing as highly as the almighty dollar. He'll do anything to make a quick buck, and unfortunately, his primary client is the American Morbidity Museum. Determined to callously sell them real-life oddities, Stanley poses as a Hollywood agent to spirit away any freaks against their will.
Nobody cares what happens to a freak. The only proper question is how we display the body under formaldehyde or vacuum sealed. Trust me.
He causes a great deal of misery, but as karma would have it, gets a fate worse than death that's only fitting of his misdeeds. Number 14, the Axeman. Based on the real, unidentified serial killer who operated in early 20th century New Orleans, the Axeman returns in Coven as a spirit at Miss Robichaux's academy.
I see I had a contract. Promises were made. And all you've got to do is say, dance, and call the witches and hold me my freedom. And I'll bring back the music.
In his backstory, the Axeman promised to spare New Orleans residents who played jazz music in their home, while axing those who didn't. He was thus lured to the academy, where the witches promptly dispatched him. In the present day, he's summoned by our protagonists and ultimately freed from the confines of the academy grounds. From there, the soft-spoken, saxophone-playing murderer strikes up a relationship with Fiona Good, which certainly has its ups and downs.
Oh, that's why I took up the saxophone.
You really are good with the ladies. Played brilliantly by Danny Houston, the Axeman is a memorable and, dare we say, underutilized villain in the AHS universe. Number 13, Margaret Booth. 1984 is all about subverting tropes from classic slasher movies. Initially, it seems like Benjamin Richter, aka Mr. Jingles, is going to be the overarching antagonist of the season. However, it's later revealed that the 1970 massacre at Camp Redwood was actually orchestrated by its supposed sole survivor, Margaret Booth.
Why did you come back here?
Finish what I started.
What you started. You poor man. You never had a chance.
Margaret pinned it on Benjamin and essentially gaslighted him into being a killer. In the present day, Margaret presents herself as the friendly and clean-cut director of the reopened Camp Redwood, but her appearance belies a ruthless and bloodthirsty personality.
Do you want to know the other great thing about God? You can use him to explain why something happened, but you can also use him to explain why you did something, even something horrible. Isn't that great?
Leslie Grossman is a later addition to the main AHS cast, but she definitely made her presence known in 1984 with Margaret Booth. Number 12, Dr. Arthur Arden.
What have you been saying about me?
The truth. I know who you are.
Arthur Arden served as both the main physician and administrator at Briarcliff Manor, a sanitarium for the mentally ill. However, Arden is less caring physician and more psychotic ex-Nazi war criminal who enjoys torturing his patients without anesthetic.
I hope you don't mind if I don't use anesthetic. It interferes with my readings.
Arden is a completely psychotic man who's interested in advancing human evolution through his experiments. However, in practice, all he's really done is sadistically torture his patients and create nasty zombies. If you think that's bad, just remember that Arden was based on an all-too-real Nazi physician named Joseph Mengele, who conducted horrific experiments on the prisoners of Auschwitz.
You were a very naughty girl last night. You tried to fly away, so I had to clip your wings. But not to worry. My surgical training was impeccable.
Number 11, James Patrick March. The Hotel Cortez is arguably the most haunted location in the AHS universe, with a truly bloody history. And a lot of that has to be attributed to its creator, James Patrick March.
Ah, yes. That light in the loafers fellow that bought my hotel. Very good, darling, very good. Like I suggested when you murder him, you do so off the property. It'd be damned awkward to keep running into him for all eternity.
A wealthy serial killer from the early 20th century, March erected the Hotel Cortez as a base of operations to hide his many atrocities. In the present day, he continually returns as one of the hotel's many spirits to cause more mischief, and to foster John Lowe as the second Ten Commandments killer.
He won't do that.
Why? This man has greatness in him. Once in a generation rage, a man only has to grip as tight as he does, because he knows that if he lets go even slightly, he will hurl himself into the abyss.
March's modus operandi has often likened him to real-life murderer H.H. Holmes. While the comparison is apt, Evan Peters completely makes this role his own, with oodles of panache and showmanship.
Pull the trigger and take our last breath. It's exactly.
See what scholarships you may qualify for. Visit gcu.edu/